Mold is a scary word for any homeowner. This silent, often invisible threat can cause many problems even before you realize it's there. So in this lesson, we're going to go through how to prevent it and what to do if it's already there. Mold is a type of fungus which thrives in damp, humid environments, and it can grow on almost any surface. Now, once mold takes hold, it can be really challenging to eradicate. It reproduces by releasing tiny, invisible spores into the air. And when we inhale these in, these can give us health problems like different allergies and inflammatory responses. It's not something to be taken lightly. You should take extra special care with infants, young children, and those with allergies or weakened immune systems when we're dealing with mold. So this recent shift towards airtight, energy-efficient homes is increasing the number of mold-related issues in homes. So it's really important that we take certain steps to ensure that your home is one that's not going to be favorable for mold growth. Mold is most commonly found in bathrooms, basements, kitchens, and areas around where leaks or where there's been flooding in the past. It will generally occur on surfaces like carpets, rug, timber, ceilings, tiles, plasterboard. However, mold can also grow in hidden places, like behind wallpaper, inside walls, around any leaking pipes, or really any surface that's been wet for about 48 hours or more. This is going to provide a great environment for the mold to take hold. I recommend inspecting your home regularly, keeping an eye out for some telltale signs. So visible mold growth can appear as discoloration, often black, green, orange, could be fuzzy, slimy. You might have a persistent sort of moldy, musty smell going on. Now, other signs can be peeling or bubbling, cracking wallpaper, warped or bulging walls, bulging floorboards, or even corrosion of metals. This can all be signs of mold growth. If you suspect mold, it's really important to have it tested. So you can purchase a mold testing kit or hire a professional to test for mold. Now, the main focus on preventing mold is controlling moisture levels. If your home is damp, it's incredibly easy for mold to just grow and spread. It's ideal conditions. So controlling humidity levels is a huge factor here. We want to regularly check our humidity levels using a simple, cheap device like we have in our recommended products. And if needed, maintain this humidity level below 50% by using a dehumidifier. We really want to keep it around 45%. And this becomes especially important in those places like basements and bathrooms where we have a lot of moisture buildup. So ideally, preventing water accumulation is the key here. So to do this, we want to wipe away condensation from any windows when that's happening. We want to ensure our gutters are not blocked and that they're functioning properly. Cleaning and drying damp, wet building materials or any furnishings and carpets within 24 to 48 hours, not letting anything stay damp. Properly cleaning up spills and fluids and ensuring all those spaces are really dry within 48 hours. So proper cleaning and then running dehumidifiers is great here. Avoiding overwatering our plants. We don't really want to have carpet in any areas like basements or bathrooms. If we have any dripping taps, making sure we're fixing that and making sure that there's adequate ventilation in different areas. Avoid overwatering indoor plants. Avoid carpeting in damp areas like bathrooms or basements. That's just going to hold on to more of the moisture, not something we're looking to do. Fix any dripping taps that you have right away and ensuring adequate ventilation as mentioned in some of the earlier lessons. So servicing and maintaining our appliances, anything that's plumbed or that has water going into it, we want to make sure that we're monitoring drip pans or anything that's going to have some type of accumulation of water. Now, urine is a major source of microbial activity. So clean pet urine promptly, dry any air mattresses if they've become contaminated, and just making sure that they're getting fully cleaned and dried out. So we also want to be careful of buying water damaged furnishings from any antique or secondhand stores. Now, what to do if you find mold? Well, if you find mold in your home, it's crucial to take immediate action to first prevent it from spreading and causing any further damage because mold spreads quick. So in many cases, professional remediation may be necessary. So don't hesitate to reach out if you think this might be needed, and we can help with some recommendations here. Now, mold testing and removal is a pretty complicated process that requires extensive training and the use of sometimes some pretty elaborate equipment. So again, please let us know if you would like a referral because it can often do a lot more harm than good if it's not done the right way. Also, if you think you've been impacted by mold exposure, please see your doctor who can do some additional testing to see if anything else needs to be done here. Now, if you think the mold can be addressed yourself, if there's not too much, here are some recommended steps when dealing with some mold. So step number 1 is identify and fix the moisture problem to begin with. So whenever we're dealing with mold, it would have came from some moisture contamination. So we want to figure out where that's coming from and stop it at the source. Now, this could be clogged gutters, it could be inadequate ventilation in bathrooms or laundry rooms, it could be broken roof tiles, or maybe there's some history of flooding. Now, if you have inadequate drainage around the home, this can be a big thing. Or maybe you just live in a hot and humid environment. So if you can't see visible mold or there's no history of flooding, it's still a great idea to consult a building biologist or a mold remediator who can conduct a moisture audit and see what sort of levels you're working with to see if there might be some hidden mold or if you're in danger of having some mold start to grow. Now, step number 2 is protect yourself. Before you start cleaning up the mold, it's essential to protect yourself. So wearing gloves and goggles, a dust mask, or better yet, a respirator to avoid inhaling any of these dangerous mold spores or getting them on your skin or eyes. So if you have a weakened immune system or if you suffer from some respiratory issues, it's best to avoid the area altogether and hire a professional mold remediator or a company. Now, step 3 is isolating the area. So to prevent mold spores from spreading to other parts of your home, it's really essential to isolate the area where the mold is located. So closing off the room and covering doorways with plastic sheeting. This is going to help to hold it all inside that one room while you're working on cleaning it up, making sure those spores aren't spreading and starting a new spot. Now, step 4 is cleaning the surface. So it's going to be different depending on what the surface is. For non-porous surfaces such as plastic, metal, concrete, hard or sealed timbers, laminate, glass, ceramic, and porcelain, a HEPA sandwich is going to be a recommended protocol here. So this involves vacuuming the infected area using a vacuum cleaner fitted with a HEPA filter, then wiping it with a damp microfiber cloth, and then finally vacuuming it with that HEPA filter again. The microfiber cloth should be soaked in water with a generous squirt of dishwashing liquid added. Or you could do a blend of 80% vinegar with 20% water. And after cleaning, make sure to rinse those cloths really thoroughly before reusing them again. For porous surfaces like plasterboard and ceiling tiles, you're going to want to blend 70% pure white alcohol with 30% water. Then you're going to clean that surface thoroughly and then dry completely. However, if the mold can't be removed from porous materials, then you're going to need to discard them, or you could have them assessed by a professional mold remediator as well. Now, it's really important to note that bleach should never be used. Avoid it completely when cleaning mold. It can make things worse. It could cause the mold to release a toxic gas, and it can potentially just spread the mold even further. So bleach is not something we want to use when we're cleaning out mold.